Well, good morning, friends. Margot here. Hope that all is well with you. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I have a full day of illustrating planned, and one of the things I like to do before I get into all those illustrations is warm up. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but when you stare at a blank page in your sketchbook, sometimes that can be very intimidating, and I hate that. So that's why I have designated sketchbooks for different topics, specifically just for warming up. That way I don't have that fear of the blank page. I know exactly what's going to go in this book, what's going to go in this book, and what's going to go in that book. So this book specifically is a vintage recipe sketchbook. And let me show you. I have quite the collection of old cookbooks that are from kind of like the 50s and 60s era. These, I believe, are late 50s, just based on the font and the aesthetic. But look how cool these are. Like the photos, the fonts, the illustrations. I could just spend hours going through these books. Like, look at that. Look at this clock. Are you kidding me right now? But yeah, I could go just spend hours reading through these at night. And it's just kind of a fun little piece of history to have. Like, look at this. They were 39 cents back in the day. Can you believe that? Must be nice. Like hamburgers and hot dogs, ice creams, salads. And again, like the colors, the color palette, like the deep greens, the oranges, it's just so reflective of that era. Look at this photo. So yeah, when I warm up, what I do is I pick a recipe from one of these cookbooks. And this is, I believe, the one I did today. Let me see. And yes, this is it. So today I picked, this sounds weird, marinated hamburgers with pineapple olive garni. I'm assuming that's garnish. And this just sounded so bizarre, but maybe good at the same time. I was like, I need to draw this. And let me show you what I mean. So this is a new book. I've only done a couple pages in it. But what I do is I sketch out some of the ingredients, and then I just put like a fun fact about either the benefits of that fruit, of that food or fruit, because that's what that is. Just notes, like little things that I want to remember or learn about, like romaine lettuce is packed with vitamins A and K. Another gut-friendly health choice is lemons. And then over here is where I actually write the recipe. And this is supposed to help me with my handwriting, which, let's be honest, it's not really helping much. But we live in an age where everything is like text or typing, that I find I'm not really writing things by hand out much anymore. So not only is this helping warm up my mind creatively for doing illustrations, it's giving me a chance to potentially improve my handwriting. So we're going to work in this journal today. I give myself roughly 15 to 20 minutes to do a full page in here because, like I said, this is just warming up. This isn't anything that we need to be precious about. This isn't a final illustration. Although sometimes when I do this, I do get good illustrations that I use in my shop. But it's just mainly to get us in that state of flow, to get us creative, and to help relax us, because drawing can be very relaxing. And even if you're watching this and you're like, well, I can't draw, this video isn't for me, I promise you, you can do some of the things that I'm going to do in here. Like, it's so simple. So the first thing I like to do is start with a floral border. And I was out having a Disney princess morning this morning, and I say that because I went outside and it was like all the little critters came to greet me. I had butterflies, hummingbirds, normal birds. There's, I think, a snake that I saw, which I was like, you're out kind of early. And I was picking flowers, and I wanted to show you, but I want to draw them today too. Let me show you how easy this is, because we're not going for realistic. We're just going for the basic shape and the idea of it. So what I do is, hopefully you can see this, for chunky, fluffy flowers like these roses, usually just start with a little shape. And yes, that's a technical term. And then once you have kind of like this oval, googly shape, you just kind of do other ruffles going around it like this, because you're building out layers of the flower. And you can make these as big as you want, as small as you want. I want these to be kind of chunky. So then the further out you go, the bigger the petals are going to be, the more they show. It's kind of like it's been in full bloom for a while. And yeah, like that. And then I'll typically just do a quick little half triangle of a leaf to show that. Should we do another one? Sure. You can do layers. So again, a little blurby shape there, and then you just go around. It's almost like scribbling, like doodling, like this. We'll make it roughly the same shape. Again, a leaf. We won't do a leaf there. And then on this side, we'll do the same because I like to do things in threes. Now, one thing you might be noticing about me is I hold my pencil kind of different. I've done this forever. When I was a kid, probably back in like first grade, and they were teaching us how to write, they told my mom that I was ambidextrous and that they were gonna like have me pick which hand I wanted to use for life and then train me on that hand. And obviously they went with this hand because that's typically what everything is in life. I don't want to say normal because I know there's a lot of lefties out there, and that doesn't mean you're not normal because I do things with my left hand too. But yeah, I was ambidextrous, and I'm wondering if that's why I hold my pencil weird, because another thing I recently learned, I'm just going to do a little wiggle border here, is there's something called, I think it was hypermobilism or something like that, where people have their joints, like they're looser than typical bodies, where you can be a little more flexible, like you can bend your thumb down to your wrist. I can't specifically do that, but other parts of my body are very flexible. And another thing is I creak every time I move, and that's not just like an age thing. I have creaked and popped and groaned since I was a teenager. Take this out a little bit. And apparently that is a sign of being hypermobile. Like your joints are just a little more loose. And it was actually, I think it was Natasha Newton, who is an artist, an illustrator here on YouTube, who holds her pencil just like me. And she went to a physical therapist and they were like, hey, so you're actually hypermobile. And it's very common for people with that condition to hold their pencils kind of different. So I haven't been like formally diagnosed or told that yet, but I can't help but wonder if I've got something like that going on. But anyway, that was kind of a long ramble to let you know that this is probably why I hold my pencil very claw-like. So again, we're just going around doing quick little scribbles. Make this one a little bit bigger there. Leaf, petal there, leaf, and then like a little vine. And we go around and around. I love doing these roses because they're so fast, fun, and easy to do. You can do any color you want. I'm probably going to do hot pink, like the flowers that I picked this morning. Do you guys grow roses, or do you grow anything? I got into gardening when we first moved out into the country, and it was going okay. I don't want to say great, but it was going okay. I had the best luck with growing non-edible things, let me just say. Flowers do great. My lilacs look good. I've got some Gerber daisies that still pop up every year and they look great, but we've tried growing food like corn and squash, watermelon, stuff like that. And I don't know what it is. I cannot do it. I actually didn't know you're not supposed to plant squash near other types of squash, or I think just any other type of plant, because it like mates with it. So one time we did a garden bed full of squash and it like mated with, I don't know what it was, like potatoes or watermelon or something. And when it was time to go to harvest, we were all so excited because from the outside, everything looked completely fine. But then we cut into the squash and it was like a space squash. I don't even know what it was. It was weird. It was hard. It wasn't even the right color on the inside. And then we've tried to grow corn too, even though I can't really eat corn, but corn on the cob is a good little treat. And it turned out like when it grew, it was miniature. Like the stalks were teeny tiny. I would say maybe about a foot high. And it would have been fun like if the corn had come into full growth to have mini corn to drive as like a fall decoration. But yeah, that didn't happen. So we've stopped growing our own food. I did try to propagate lettuce this year because we're eating a lot of salads. As you know, I'm on a weight loss journey with my husband, and the price of food is so crazy. I'm like, let's just grow our own lettuce. Yeah, no, that didn't work either. It's hopeless. So I tried. Okay, there we go. Just a rough outline. And then what I like to do on this line is just go through with leaves, very basic outline of leaves. And I kind of alternate them because I think it's more visually appealing. And how they bend. I do different ways that they bend. Sure. And then my favorite animal, or bug, I should say, is a ladybug. And I try to incorporate that into everything that I do. So let's put some ladybugs in here. And for now, we're just going to do little ovals. You don't have to be precious about it. Maybe like here, have them go in different shapes because there's different sizes of ladybugs. Let's put one here too. And then I will go back in and do the details on them later. Now, for the recipe card, I like to either use a cutout like that and I just trace it. But because my border's a little bit chunkier today, well, let's do, that's almost too small. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to quickly cut out something that I can use using some of my older ephemera. Yeah, this is kind of like a junky one. That's still too big. Let's cut it out really quick. And I'm just going to trace it. Another thing I've noticed with me is I tend to draw straight lines at an angle. No matter what I do, it's like my head is crooked or something. So that's why I like to use guides as much as I can. Now, this is a wavy piece of coffee dyed paper. I'm okay with that. I kind of like to have a wavy line. It doesn't have to be perfect. As you know, we don't do that here on this channel. Whoops. It makes it more interesting, I think. That. Okay, there's our recipe card. And what I'm going to do now is get the recipe and let's look at the ingredients. Okay, we've got hamburger. Don't really want to draw that because I feel like that's not very pretty. Salt and pepper, sure, let's do that. So over here, don't even give it much thought. I am going to draw a salt and pepper shaker. So that's going to be like the little lid comes down like that. And then here's the base. Maybe it's a little squatty salt and pepper shaker. And then let's put another one next to it. Like that. Again, these don't have to be perfect. This is just warming us up. Like that is not a great shape, but we can make it. Let's do salt, pepper, okay? And then we'll write like something over here. Now we got minced onion. So let's just draw a whole onion because I think that that would be pretty cute. Let's do it over here. So an onion is just a basic kind of a globe shape, not perfect. Let's do a big onion. Maybe it's a Walla Walla. Now onions sometimes, if you grow them yourself, have like the little root things that hang down here, like that. They also have rough skin, so when I go in and do the coloring and just the quick details, I'll denote that. And they also have some skin that kind of comes up here, like this. Like that. Fun fact, did you know that you can make broth from onion skins and it's very rich in nutrients? I haven't done that for a long time, but you can. Okay, so the next ingredient is, I think this is actually MSG, monosodium glutamate. I think that's MSG. If you know, let me know in the comments, because I see that pop up a lot in these recipes. So we're going to skip that. Next, we've got Caesar style dressing. So let's do a little bottle. See, I'm at a weird angle, so don't mind me if I turn the book a bit. Of Caesar dressing. So let's do, well, I'll just draw the one that we have downstairs. It's like an actual jar. Like this. Not the easy pour kind, you know what I mean? Although those are convenient too, but this is like a Lighthouse, I think is the name of the brand. Like that. And then we've got thawed frozen pineapple chunks. Well, you know what? Instead of chunks of canned pineapple, let's just draw a whole pineapple because that's cute. So that's going to be a oval like this. I hope you guys can see because I'm doing this very light. And then some leaves that come off the top. And they kind of cascade out. Just doing this from memory. Sure, that's good. And now the pineapple pattern can be very intricate if you want to do a detailed pineapple illustration. But we're not doing that today. So I'm just going to do kind of like a Art Deco style arches. So that kind of shows the pattern that pineapples have on their surface. Like this. Perfect. Stuffed olives. Stuffed olives. I didn't catch that before. It's not just regular olives, it's stuffed olives. So let's just draw an olive, or a couple. Olive shape. Got the little opening. I'll probably make that red because stuffed olives. Let's have another one down here. I do like stuffed olives. Trader Joe's has some good ones. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do for those. Now for the recipe card, I just like to keep it really simple and have a fun kind of border going around like this, because it's a pretty recipe card, right? Almost like a scalloped edge. And just doing these basic lines and shapes without any pressure, it really does loosen you up to get into like doing fine details on illustrations. So let's do recipe title. So we'll just write the word recipe. And then I usually write that here, just draw a line. And then recipe cards are divided in half. So that's gonna be like right here. So you have the ingredients on one side and the instructions on another. We'll just do simple little dots. Now, I probably won't write this out, like do this whole recipe on camera, just because I write slow. It takes forever and that's boring. And if you do want to do this exercise, you can absolutely just go in with a micron pen if you trust your handwriting. I don't. So I trace over the pencil with a micron pen just to give me some added security. Okay, so next up, we're going to go in with watercolor. And I have mentioned on this channel, I think before, that I'm not really an art supply snob. I kind of used to be, like when I first got started. But if an art supply works and it gives you the desired effect that you want, who cares what the brand name is? Like, this isn't fashion. We don't care that we're using Louis Vuitton watercolor. Now, that being said, I like to use Daniel Smith watercolor, and it is not lost on me that those are a little bit expensive. But when I tell you that I have had this palette for 9 years and it's still going strong, it's definitely worth the investment. So that's just my little spiel there on that. And a lot of artists you'll see here on YouTube, they have very pristine, clean palettes. and they don't mix directly in. I do. They also use really nice brushes. I don't. I have built my business with this one brush that I picked up at an art supply store for I think 75 cents on Oahu, because I wanted to do a travel sketchbook while we were on our honeymoon, and I didn't bring a brush or any art supplies. And I love it. It's just great. Like, you can fill the base, the tips, this base with water. Just going in for the onion, kind of a brown color, and squeeze it out that way. Leave those. Let's actually paint the top silver. But yeah, it works great for me. I feel like I can control it. Now, if I was doing like a wash, a watercolor wash, this wouldn't be ideal. Like this shape, and because this is synthetic, I do like to use a mop brush or just something a little bigger. These are, let's do blue. But for my style, because I like to layer and do mixed media with my watercolor, and I'm a lot more controlled with what I do, it works great. Just put that down there. Olives are black, also kind of reddish brown at the same time. This should be pretty. Just dawned on me that olives, actually, most stuffed olives are green. That's okay. Doesn't matter. I think you can stuff black olives, can't you? I love olives. I should know this. Okay, that's good for now. Oh, the pineapple. We need to color her leaves. Like this. Just go in. And you don't have to worry about going outside the lines. Like that. Cool. Now we're going to let that baby dry. Switch to this side. And I think I am going to have this recipe card be blue. Yeah. Let's do navy blue. I think that would be pretty. Just very loose. It's not so much navy blue, it's more of a electric blue. I don't know what you want to call this. My brain's not working great. I need more tea. Plus, I keep getting up very, very early, like 3:30 early. That's why I went outside early today, to kind of do some stuff in the garden and take care of all the critters. But it does mean I have to drink a lot more tea. Now, while we're doing this, I want to give you some shop updates. I am in the midst of doing production right now on the paper. So next week I should have a restock of the 1950s atomic style pack. That sells out a lot. I can't keep it in stock really, so thank you for that. And that is a paper pack I use a lot personally, just because obviously I love vintage stuff. So that should be coming back next week. And that will be coming out on Etsy, by the way, because right now I'm trying to figure out what paper packs I want to have on Etsy and what paper packs I want to have on Amazon. And that's a question for you. Do you prefer shopping on Etsy or do you prefer shopping on Amazon? And don't worry about me, because I get your messages and they are so sweet, asking, which is better for you, which one pays me the most. And honestly, it's kind of the same. The only difference I would say is that with Amazon, I don't have to worry about the shipping and the packaging and all of that. They do it for me because I do fulfilled by Amazon. So what that means is I make all of my paper packs up in advance and then send them out to the warehouses, and they handle that for me. And so roughly I make about the same, but I don't have to do the shipping, which I don't mind doing. I love shipping stuff for you guys. So either way, it's up to you. It's whatever works for you. the majority of my paper packs are on 2-day Prime now. So you can get that fast and free if you are a Prime member. But yeah, it's just kind of a learn as you go type deal with Amazon. I'm never abandoning Etsy, I will say that. I will keep coming out with new products on that platform, just because I know a lot of you guys do enjoy shopping on there. But without getting negative, Etsy has changed quite a bit for us sellers over the past couple years. And I would say it's not for the better. And that was one of the reasons why I was looking for a different platform to sell on, to kind of diversify. Thought about doing my own website, but I don't love designing websites. I used to do that a lot when I had a different life as a marketing person. And B, it can be quite expensive with hosting, buying the domain. If you do pay somebody to do the design for you, you obviously want to pay them a fair wage, because that takes a lot of work and time. So I'm probably not going to go that route. And that's why Amazon just seemed like a good fit, because, I mean, let's face it, love it or hate it, it's probably the biggest e-commerce site in the world. And it's too bad, because there were a few websites that were Etsy competitors, I would say. Like Go Imagine was one, but it just never got off the ground. I know they gave it a good shot, and it was all focused on actual handmade sellers and makers. But a couple months ago, they announced that they were shutting down, and that was really sad to hear. I was sorry for them, and I'm sorry for their employees. I've had a couple failed businesses myself, so that can be very soul crushing. But because of that, Etsy is essentially a monopoly, I would say, right now. There's really no other place for handmade. And hold on, don't talk for a second. Can't talk and draw at the same time. Yeah, Etsy just used to be strictly handmade, but the problem is it's not anymore. There's a lot of stuff that is mass produced on the platform. Customers know that. They've got kind of a PR problem right now. People I've heard refer to Etsy as expensive Temu, which that's not great. We don't want that. But there's still handmade on here. Like, we're still there. We're still here. Like that. Let's get some more green. So yeah. Michael's tried to launch their own marketplace, and I think it's still up. It's called Maker Place, I believe. Looked into that, but again, I don't think it's really going anywhere. I know some sellers that put their products on there and didn't really get much traction, not a lot of traffic. Now, I did used to sell my products wholesale on a website called Fair. And that was, once upon a time, exclusively for small businesses and makers too. And it was a lot of fun. I actually had my products, I don't know if you knew this, in, gosh, I would say like 300 stores, mainly in the US. But I did sell to a few over in Ireland, France, Australia, I believe, was one. I think Turkey? I don't know. I have to go back and look. But I did stop doing that because when the inflation stuff started, when was that, 2021? I just couldn't do it because wholesale, as most of you know, is half the cost, which is fair because these businesses are going to sell your products. But then the platform would take a big chunk of that too. So it was kind of just like not worth it. And because they're bigger orders, it was a lot of work. So I stopped doing that. Okay, so the ladybugs. Let's go in with red. I love ladybugs. I love them so much. They're like my spirit animal. Which is your spirit animal? Hummingbirds are another one for me. Kind of funny story. When my first dog passed, Bridget, the next day, I'm telling you, the next day, the next morning, a hummingbird came and landed on a vine that we have growing on our fence that overlooks the kitchen window. And he just sat there. He sat there the whole day. And gosh, how many years has it been later? There's still a hummingbird that just sits there and greets us every morning, every day. And I'm sure it's a different hummingbird. Like, I know they migrate and things happen, but it is a little weird. No, I'm not gonna do that. That a hummingbird has been with us ever since she passed. Like, I can actually see him sitting out there right now. Beautiful. It's like a ruby-throated hummingbird. So that's another one for me. Okay, so this dries pretty quick just because this paper is so absorptive. Here's my tea. I did not go to Starbucks this morning. And my style, as you guys know, is mixed media. Let's move the bathtub out of the way. So I like to go over my illustrations with colored pencil. And I love how I just did a whole thing about not being an art supply snob. And then here I am about to tell you that the only colored pencils I use are polychromos, which again, not very cheap. But when my dad passed away, I used some of the money that he left me to invest in this big, huge set. And again, built my business with these pencils. They last, and then you can buy replacements for, well, now they're $8 a pencil. I'm like, but it's worth it because they do last. So that's dry. Let's go in with the pineapple. And we're just going to scribble. We're just going to literally scribble, and we're not going to have any method to the madness. We're just going to go around because this is giving it some texture, because pineapples are very spiky and they have texture. Okay, so there's one. Let's go in with a brown because pineapples have brown. Like that. Cool. And then for the fronds or the leaves, we're going to just go give a little shadow. Just there. This gets into like light source and all that. We're not going to get into that today. But yeah, just gives it some interest. Cool. Now for the onion, let's do this one. What is this color? I mean, does anybody really actually care what colors I use? They're just pretty. This is a deep ombre or something. So this is a yellow onion. Making it look kind of like there's a skin and it's round. Some texture. And because this is going to be the shadow side, go in a little bit here. That. There's the roots. Like that. Okay. Doesn't look like much yet, but just wait. It's fine. Black olives. Where is my black pencil? This is the one I use all the time, so you'd think because I use it all the time, I would know where it is. I found it. Like this. Just give it some shape. There's that. I'm going to go in pretty heavy with the color on these because they are smooth, because olives are smooth. Like that. I love olives. When I was a kid, I used to put black olives on my fingers, like little finger puppets, and then eat them that way. And I say as a kid, and that means I still do, because I feel like that's the only way to eat them. Now, the little inside thing, isn't it red? It's red, isn't it? Like a kind of orangey, soft red. Just do that. Don't come for me if that's not correct. If they don't make black stuffed olives, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, now for the leaves, we're going to do this real fast, I promise. We're just going to outline them, give them some interest, a little vein there. I usually go in with the micron and I'll put just the idea of the leaf veins in there. Am I on camera? I'm still getting my sea legs for filming while I do this. It's a little weird, I'll tell you. But it is nice to sit here and chat with you. I hope that you enjoy hearing about my day, my thought process. I love hearing about yours and learning about you. You guys have left me such wonderful comments. It's so fun to get to know you and see where you're from and what it's like there and what you do for fun, and to hear about your fur babies. So please keep leaving me comments. Never feel like, you know, you're bothering me. And I believe that helps with YouTube pushing my channel out more, like its engagement. So that helps. Thank you. It also dawned on me the other day, I am a terrible YouTuber because not once in any of the videos I have uploaded have I said, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. But I kind of feel like we all know that now. Like everybody says that. Yeah, we know. So if you feel like it, please do. Like, comment, subscribe, share. But it is fun. It was a little scary in the beginning when I first turned the camera back on after 6 years. And especially because my style of videos is just raw, not edited, real life. It was a little weird, I won't lie, to just talk to myself. But now I know I'm talking to you, and I love that. Okay, hi, I'm back. So off camera, I went and outlined, hi, I can't talk, all the illustrations using a micron pen, just to give it a little oomph, you know, get them to pop off the page. I also wrote down some fun facts about the health benefits of the ingredients, except for Caesar, because it's just really yummy. Although there are probably some health benefits. And then this page is the recipe card. I just wrote down a quick, easy recipe in my own language. Well, language, like in my own voice, I guess is what I want to say. So I could easily understand this and reference it in the future. And if I do make this, I will let you know how these burgers turn out, because the more I look at this, the more I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that weird. Maybe it is actually kind of good. So yeah, this is a really fun way to warm up, get your brain creative, get your pencil flowing, get those watercolors flowing. So give it a try if you're in the mood for doing something a little bit different. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this process. Still learning as I go, as far as like the filming and what to talk about and what kind of content to bring you. So I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to art, and I will see you in the next one.